Right, hello everybody and welcome to Detroit Bruce Backstage. Today we have a very special guest and dear friend, 8-time Final Four appearances, the 2000 NCAA champion, coach, dear friend, Tom Izzo from Michigan State University. Welcome, Coach Izzo. How are you today?
Bruce, this is a treat for me. After all the times I've come down there, you've taken such good care of me. I finally get to do something for you.
How's things going up in East Lansing these days right now?
Well, today, probably like down there, it's 62 degrees. You know, you feel like going out sitting in the sun all day. Went for a bike ride, kind of want to spend some time outside because it hasn't been the greatest weather, as we all know. But, you know, we're adjusting like everybody else. Finals ends today for our players. They've been online for 7 weeks, and that hasn't been easy, but it hasn't been easy for anybody. So I'm not going to complain. I'm healthy. I got my family with me. I got my 2 kids back in the house. Life's good.
So, since everybody wants to know, with March Madness being canceled and you having been there for over 22 consecutive years, what have you been doing to keep yourself busy?
I've been doing a lot, but I got to tell you, that first 3 weeks after they canceled it, it was a downer for us. You know, we thought we were playing our best basketball. We had just won the Big Ten championship, raring to go to the Big Ten tournament, and all of a sudden, you know, everything happened, and for the right reasons, don't get me wrong. But since then, I've probably done what you did. You know, the background there looks like you've been hanging pictures. Everything looks so pristine there. That's kind of my house now. My closet looks like a real closet. Got the greatest garage known to mankind. I say it's the great doghouse. So if you get kicked out of there, Bruce, I got a spot for you here. I'm just trying to get straightened out around here, doing a little work for my team by watching some shows, reading a little bit, and kind of getting some inspirational things, some things that I got, you know, some from the Michael Jordan deal that's been on, and some from other sporting events or just other news. So I'm trying to gather information probably just like you are.
Yeah, same thing. And speaking of the Michael Jordan show that came on, you know what? My biggest takeaway was the guy was winning everything in regards to like best player of the year, you know, all-star, defensive player of the year, top scorer, but he could not get past the Pistons. So rather than just go on vacation, he took his team to the gym to work harder and to figure it out and to bulk up so that he could, bring more muscle to the court. So that's one thing, you know, if you get to a certain level and you're still great, even though you're doing great things, you can always get better. And he's proof in the pudding, that's for sure.
Player will say to me, are you ever going to be satisfied? No, probably not. You know, not as long as you're here, you know, because we're all searching for perfection. It's never going to happen. We all understand that. But the journey to get there, those that are willing to day after day after day do what they do, what you guys have done down there, to me, you know, what Dan has done is just there's nothing even close. I mean, it's that daily objective to make yourself the best you can be. And you're really challenging yourself more than anybody else. And I think Michael did that. You know, I've been fortunate here with Magic. I mean, I think he kind of did that. But it was fun. I remember going to those Piston games and watching those games. And now to see a big documentary on has been interesting.
The culture behind it is the driver to a lot of this because you know, those who are continuing to get better and trying to find a better way and figure it out are the ones that have a deep culture that roots their team, their company, their organizations, and that's how they continue to grow through good and bad times. So I think that's what we're talking about here.
Well, and the other part of it was, you know, like when he was a sophomore and he got cut from his basketball team, you know, he didn't just bolt, you know, he went back and work. And as I know about your company, as you know about my situation at the beginning, you know, sometimes failure for a little while makes the success all the better. And it kind of hardens you and teaches you. And I think sometimes our our younger generation doesn't get to go through the failure. And failure is hard to go through, but it's not all that bad when it leads to even bigger and better things. And I think that's what that's about. That's what business is about, and that's what we're about.
That's a great way to answer that, and it kind of leads into the next question, because there's so many distractions now, especially for the young kids with social media and just different way of life than it was as I was growing up. And with those distractions, how have you evolved as a coach in the digital world that we have right now?
Well, as you know, I mean, it's not the easiest thing for me. It's not something that I fell in love with because there's goods and bads to it. You know what I found out, though? I found out that things like this make the social media, there's a lot of good things to it. It's a way that I can Zoom with my players and my players' parents, that we can stay up with people. I have trouble talking on the phone or texting because I need to see, like, I miss that hat you're wearing, man. I miss that about you. And if I was just talking to you on the phone, I wouldn't see that. I miss the personalities. I miss the watching somebody with some passion, not only in their voice, but in the view. And I think this is what I've learned from this. I'm adjusting. I'm in my 60s, but I'm still growing. I'm still trying to get better. And the day that stops, it's going to be adios, man. I'm out.
I hear you, and I got to tell you, I'm really in the same boat as you, because I'm a people person. I like to be with the people, and now this digital technology with the Zoom and the Microsoft Teams and all the different platforms we've been using have really helped us come together as a company, even not being in the office. Speaking of your players, I have this question. You have this great record for keeping players on the team 3-4 years, when some of them and some teams have this one and done, and some of the players are one and done and straight to the pros. What has it been, and what's your secret that allows you to keep these players bought into your system and staying in college when they could truly go to the NBA?
Well, I've had two things, Bruce, to be honest with you. Sometimes we're not getting the same level of talent as some of those teams that are one and done all the time. And some of it's by choice. I mean, what I like getting is a good, solid player who's good enough to be great, but yet wants to keep getting better. And hopefully, we've had one and done, two and done, three and done, and four and done. All I want to make sure is when they're done, the cake is baked all the way through, and that they have the best chance. So when they go to the Cleveland Cavaliers, they have the best chance to make it, not a cup of coffee. And I think I've never tried to hold a kid back. I've tried to make sure that his experience here is as good as it can be. But I also think, when they get a chance to fulfill their dreams, I'm good. I just want it to be their choice, not the NBA's choice. In other words, if the NBA doesn't think they're good enough, it's the NBA's choice. Right. I got a couple guys that could have come out as freshmen or sophomores that stayed one more year. I think it's because they enjoyed it here. I think they felt they needed to get a little better, a little more mature. One thing about college, Bruce, that I think is really different is they all talk about the maths and sciences and this and that. I think the social maturity is really what is most needed. The people skills. Can you communicate? Like, I come down with you and you're so good with people. And I think that's an art that we're missing because everybody's texting and tweeting, and not a lot of face-to-face. And so that's what I try to teach my guys. There's a lot more. It's not just the academic, but I think social adjustments are part of academic.
Yeah, I mean, ironically, my son, who's in high school, my whole thing with him is, yes, do good in school, but at the same time, be a good communicator, learn how to talk to people and build relationships. And I've had him in the office not only last summer, but now he's full-time intern as he does online school. And not that we're socializing right now, but during the summer, it took him to a whole new level. And I think that's going to take you much further in the world, just being able to communicate, and that's huge. So
I'm going to tell this to Rocco. When I'm looking at assistants or looking at players or looking at people to hire, sure, you want someone with the knowledge that there has to be, but give me people skills. Give me passion for what you want to do. Give me the fact that you like what you do, love what you do, or live what you do. And if you can love and live what you do, and you have passion and you have skills of being able to relate to people, I'll take that over a 4-point. I really will. So keep working, Rocco. And Bruce, you've done a good job raising him because he's still working for you there.
Thank you. And it sounds like Rocco might even have a little job at MSU one day. You never know.
You never know.
um, let's talk a little bit more about basketball for a minute, Coach. Tell me who you think, out of all the players you've played against and all the teams that you've played against, who do you think is the most difficult opposing player that you and your team have ever played against?
Boy, you're right. I've played against a lot of great players, and but I'd have to say, Zion Williamson, because of both strength, athleticism. Plus, we just did it last year, so he's fresh in my mind. But I mean, we played Vince Carter back 20 years ago when he was unbelievable, and I've played against a lot of really good ones. Kyrie was a guy we played against. He played his last game at Duke, I think, against us before he got injured. So I played against a lot of them. But when you have size, strength, athletic ability, and skill, we had the 6-eye rule. Anytime Zion got the ball, there better be the guy guarding him, that was 2 eyes. Better be a guy on the right, that was 2 eyes, and a guy on the left, that was 2 eyes. So we had the 6-eye rule when we covered Zion and held him to 20, so I felt good about it.
When it comes to this year, because, I mean, face it, the players, the season ended and it was cut short, and some of these players were sort of like just kind of held in limbo. Do you think that they should be given another year of eligibility so that they could kind of finish their basketball career? What are your thoughts on that?
I really struggled with that, to be honest with you, because a kid like Cassius Winston, who I just felt wanted another shot to get back to a Final Four, but he's going to move on to pro ball, so I don't know how that would have worked out. The other issues are scholarships, different things, I think they gave the kids the spring sport. We played 31 games. He got a chance to enjoy 90% of his senior year. Unfortunately, not the greatest part of it, hopefully the tournaments. But at least the spring sport people got a chance to come back, if you're a golfer or soccer or whatever sports there are, baseball. And even that's difficult, though, because of scholarships. You got new recruits coming in already that you've already signed. There's a lot of complications, Bruce, to some of these things. And hell, I'm just trying to coach my basketball team, so I'm not sure I'm an expert in those areas. But I do think the greatest memories that you have in life is the college days. My buddy Mariucci and I, we talk often, and sooner or later it comes back to made a lot of money, had a lot of fame, got to do some incredible things. But man, it was fun living in that trailer back at Northern Michigan University with 30 feet of snow on the ground. Somehow you don't forget your collegiate time. And I hope that these kids, I know we're doing things for kids that are graduating this weekend. We're trying to send some messages out because they're not going to get to share it. And that's tough. It's tough for high school kids. It's tough for college kids. And it's been tough on everybody. So hopefully we'll all make it through. And this will be a memory that will be tough at the time, but give us some positive things, as you were saying earlier, down the road.
Yeah, no doubt. On to our team, because we're now working from home. We have 30,000 team members, about over 18,000 in Detroit that we have set up, and they're still breaking records and doing great things and figuring it out. What advice can you give to our team and our family of companies as they work from home during this quarantine?
Well, I think the first one is to praise Dan, because, when you look at the base you have, and the base is like building a skyscraper in California, that's earthquake proof. If you got a good solid base, you're going to be able to withstand a lot of things. And I think the base that you have is unbelievable. But what I'd say to each person, no excuses. We don't have time for them. You know, we don't have time to feel sorry for ourselves. There are people worse off than us. You know, I have an assistant who's lost his father during this. There's people that are worse off. Thank God for what you got and try to make the best of it. Try to learn how to work differently. I'm talking to you on Zoom. 6 weeks ago, I never even knew what it was. You know, adjust. And, you know, I think if you adjust and you're not afraid of things and you don't make excuses, just like we tell our players, I think somehow we'll all move forward in this and maybe be better even, you know, once we get through it. We'll be smarter. We'll be able to understand. We'll be able to teach ourselves we can handle adversity, because I don't think many people have to handle it like they used to. If all those people could say, you know, I'm going to try to make the guy next to me, I'm going to help somebody. There's going to be a lot of mental illness going through this. There's going to be a lot of depression going through this. You know, you reach out and you help your teammate. You know, that's what I would like everybody to do. I hope we all do that as Americans. But for your team, I hope they all do it and everybody gets a little better.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your time and my Sparty clock.
I love it.
And if you haven't got your Sparty watch,
it's awesome.
There it is. And we really, really thank you for joining us and inspiring all these people and everything you do to inspire everybody around you. Your smile is always glowing. Your vibe is so good. And I think that's the reason that the kids stick it out, because they love hanging out and being part of your culture and your team and part of who you are. So thanks for joining us today. And I hope to see you very soon back here in Detroit or up in Lansing.
Well, I just want you to do me one favor. I know the watch that I saw is great, but that hat, man, next time I come down, you got to steal me one of those hats, man. That'll be something that I'll look forward to. And I just want to tell the people, thank you, those that are keep doing your job from home or whatever way. We got to keep our economy moving. And Bruce, thank you. The friendship and that's been developed, and all your people. And Rocco, keep working, brother. Then you'll end up like your dad.
Thanks again, Coach. We love you.
See you, man.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you joining us here at Detroit Bruce Backstage. Coach Izzo was amazing, and we will see you next week.